Hashtag free Britney, freed Britney. That's what we're going to be talking about today, guys, because you guys will know one of the phrases I often say on my channel, one of the truths I'm trying to instill into your mind, reprogram into your brain, is that the power is with the people. This is something that people don't believe, they don't understand, because it's exactly what the powers that be want us to think. Because if we realize we have the power that we have, then we will yield it in a way that is beneficial for ourselves. Now, the reason I'm even making this video is because Britney Spears has been making these voice notes talking about what she really had going on, talking about what she really been going through. And it's been amazing to hear from her mouth, from her voice, from her heart, from her soul, exactly what she's been going through and exactly what she went through and her thoughts and opinions. It's easy for us all to comment on them, to talk about it all, because you know, it's because from our perspective. But what we can't do is we can't talk about it from like how it is if you're the one who actually went through it. Now, the thing with Brit said something very interesting, and I did take some notes, guys, while I was listening to these voice notes, because I tried to take as many notes as possible. I tried to take as many notes as possible and direct quotes from things that she was saying. What she was saying was that, where was it? Where is this quote? Hold on one second. Where is it gone? Basically, what she was saying was that when all of this stuff started to go down, and when she was being in this facility where she was still working 8 to 6, 7 days a week, despite being in a mental facility, just because she practically, from what I understand from what she said, because she said no to doing a particular dance move, and which then put her in this facility, the reason why she started to get freed and she started to get justice was because of the hashtag Free Britney movement. When her family failed her by exploiting her, when the industry failed her by exploiting her, it was the people showing up, and she said the people showing up in pink t-shirts with the hashtag Free Britney, and she even said herself that they just knew somehow inside something was up. And I love this because this is where I feel like the justice from God comes from. The fact that he gives us these feelings, these inclinings, that the things in the world that we can see, this natural world, right? We can't see the spiritual world, we can see the natural world. So the natural things we see can be manipulated, which is what you saw with Britney. You know, she talked about how when she was being taken to the facility, I think the first time, she had all these SWAT teams and everything show up, and there was 200 paparazzi there taping all of this. You know why that was happening? Because it was to control the viewpoint of what everybody was seeing, so that people looked at her like this 25-year-old girl who was losing it because she was in Hollywood, couldn't look after herself, and everybody was in support of her parents all those years ago. Do you remember that? Remember the part where everybody was in support of her parents? Remember the part where even they did the same with Amanda Bynes and were like, oh, Amanda Bynes needs to be in a conservatorship like Britney, and now because of everything with Britney and the mistakes people made, her Amanda Bynes' conservatorship was even more ironclad than Britney's. Yes, that's what happens, guys, because the power is with the people. What we think, the reason why the likes of people like James Spears, who's known to be in good cahoots with TMZ, news, so I want to call them in news. News is very much not what they are. I don't know what you want to call them, whatever you want to call TMZ, right? They are known for being problematic. They are known for going against the will of artists, athletes, celebrities, influencers, you name it. Isn't it interesting that they know James Spears? And I think it's also Kris Jenner who's in with TMZ. There's somebody else, I can't remember. But anyway, point of the matter is, they do this stuff because they want to control what we, the public, think. Because if they can convince the public, they can get away with it. This is the same tactics the governments use in their false prophet. They're lying as broadcasters on the media. It's the same thing. And I have a media playlist, guys. You should check it out. They're very short videos in that playlist. They're like 5 minutes each, and you can actually understand how they do all of this stuff and how this whole thing of stage democracy, which is basically, I'll explain in short here because it's true for what we're talking about with Britney, right? The stage democracy works like this. If you have democracy, we all want to feel that we get to make the decisions in our life. Now, the devil understands that, and his minions, his children on earth, who are, a lot of them are in the governments, in big tech, big pharma and all this, They understand this. So what they do is, they know they can't take our free will away from us because that's a God-given thing that they don't have the right to take away. So the only thing that they can do is manipulate how we use that free will, because then even up to God, they'll say, well, this is their choice. You gave them free will. They chose this. They chose to elect us. They chose to side with the parents. They chose to believe what the media was saying without doing their own research. And so that's what stage democracy is. It's by making you think that you are in control because you're doing the doing, but in reality, you've been controlled so that you do what you do in a certain type of way. And that's why it took the fans who felt something was off, which I was one of those. I was early into the hashtag Free Britney movement. I wasn't like necessarily making videos about it. I don't even know if I had a channel when I first started thinking about that. But I was very early on. I was like, something's off with Britney. Something's weird. This isn't okay. And many of us, if not for all of us who were feeling skeptical, who were listening to the intuition that I believe God was stirring up in all of us, is a form of getting justice for Britney, since the powers in the world were trying not to give her justice. That is what led for Britney to end up being freed. That is what allowed Britney to be where she is. And she's spoken a lot about how crazy it is. And I've talked about in other videos. If you want to hear, I talked in another video about her now saying she's an atheist. As a result of that, I addressed that completely directly because I know some of you would want to know my thoughts on that. And also because I have said that I'm a Bible-believing, Spirit-led follower of Jesus. So you should go and check that video out if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts about all of that and why I fully understand why she feels that way. But she has been hugely betrayed by her family, hugely betrayed by the industry and people in the industry. It's interesting to see what she has to say about certain people who've tried to make themselves look supportive, who's just kind of clapped back and been like, don't try and look like you were supportive. You knew what was going on and you didn't say anything, and that's what's super sad about it. And she even said, at one point, and I quoted this in another video, she was in reference to her mum and her sister. She said, they secretly honestly liked me being the bad one. They honestly wanted to keep it that way. And when she confronted them, when all this stuff was coming up, they tried to say like they didn't know, which is the classic lie. So I'm bringing all this to you guys' attention for a couple of reasons, to say you might feel like your life is so insignificant. You might feel like all you do is go to work and come home and spend time with your friends and you're not having some huge impact. What you don't understand is collectively as a unit in this world, every decision we make affects all of us together. That's why, think about why we talk about stuff like climate change and all of that. When we think about how much we contribute to something, it's not that much, right? It's like how if everybody was to give 1 cent or 1p, right, 1 penny towards something, right? It doesn't sound like much if you just give 1 cent or 1 penny towards something. But if 100 people give a penny, that's 100 pennies. If 100,000 people give a penny, that's 100,000 pennies. If 1 billion people give, do you see how that works? And all of a sudden, that little amount that everybody did amounts to a lot. And that's why I say the power is with the people. And that is what the government, Big Pharma, Big Tech, the New World Order, World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, all of these people are afraid of you realizing. They're afraid of you realizing that, wait, every little thing I do makes a difference. That's why, even think about this, guys, on my channel. Right now, at the time of making this video, I think I'm on 357 subscribers, right? Let's say all 357 of my subscribers today decided we were all, okay, let's say we wanted to raise some money, right? Now, every single one of us, if every single one of us found 2 other people, right, in this world to raise this money with, like we all pledge, oh, I'm going to give $10, and I'm going to find 2 other people to give $10, and then all 357, or including myself, 358 of us decided to do that. See how quickly that money expands? That little $10 doesn't seem like that much, right? But the impact can be a lot greater. And that's why it's so important for us to understand that everything we do matters. Every time you stream a song, every time you watch a movie, every time you watch a video, every decision you make, everything you buy in the supermarket, every place that you drive to, every conversation you have, You are having an impact on the world greater than you can possibly understand. And the reason why a lot of the people in this world get away with stuff is because we don't realize that. That's why they don't want us to know. They don't want us to know the truth about what goes on with a lot of these celebrities behind closed doors. You think they want us to know that they're being treated so badly? No, they don't, because they want you to support what they're doing so they can make money from it. That's all that they care about. They don't care about the artist. They care about, oh, like you have 100,000 subscribers. Oh, you have 200,000 followers. We don't care about those people. We just care about that influence. So we will exploit you as much as we can without them knowing, because we know that we're going to get those 200,000 followers attention. Those people, every single number has power. This is how Facebook became big. You know how Mark Zuckerberg became rich, guys? He did not become rich because anybody was putting money into Facebook. None of you are paying for Facebook right now. He became rich because the fact that he had this many people on a platform meant that he had an element of power that other people don't have, until now has more power than even many governments, many kings and queens in the world today, because of the number of people on his platform. Think about a platform like YouTube. YouTube, I think last time I checked, has got 1.9 billion downloads, right? And this is on the Google App Store. This is on the Google App Store I was looking at. So think about on the Apple App Store how many other billion they might have over there. Think about how much power these people have. Now, it sounds like a lot, but those are each individual numbers of people like you, people like me, who are just in their life making small decisions. And that's why, guys, it's so important. That's why I've always been an advocate for, if I watch somebody on YouTube, I am quick to subscribe to people's channels. I subscribe as soon as I've enjoyed the first video, because you know why? And I hit the like button, because you know why? That's gonna, if I'm seeing something that I enjoy, I want to put energy into that, and I want to put my power into supporting that, as opposed to not doing it, right? While people over there doing evil, demonic things are having all their people putting all this effort into it. And I bring people up about this a lot. It's unfortunate that this happens, but unfortunately a lot of negative things out there gain more attention and support because people are in a very emotional state. A lot of people are in a very broken state. And then the people who are doing positive things do not get as much support, unfortunately, and stuff like that. The people who are trying to make their own music and be independent don't necessarily get as much support because they're not on these big platforms and whatever, and people can't be bothered to go and support them where they are. So the lesson in all of this is to say that Britney Spears, who is an A-list celebrity who's had a huge career, who has been through absolute hell, and if you don't know the hell she's been through, please check out my #FreeBritney playlist. I've got all the deets in there, or not all the deets, a lot of the information in there to let you guys know exactly what she's been through. She's been through hell. Imagine she's been through all of that, right? She's been through all of that, and the thing that freed her from what she went through, it wasn't the fact that she had money. The money didn't help anything because the people were controlling the money. It wasn't her family, even though everybody assumes everybody comes from happy families and everybody's family wants the best for them and all that stuff. It wasn't from the industry, like the industry protects them. Like, I don't know why people think the industry protects them. It was the people. The power is always with the people. I always tell you guys this. So I hope that you're finally convinced. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Do you think that your power really matters, or do you think your power doesn't matter? I would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and of course hit the like button. Other than that, God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you in my next one.